Hi everyone, it's Miriam Pinellas with Hasidus as Medicine. Today I want to share a teaching from the Tzaddik, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, from one of his stories called The Melancholy Saint, which you can find in his collection of tales. Rabbi Nachman writes about a tzaddik who became very sad, very depressed, and his depression got so bad that he became completely immobile and so heavy. And the only way he was able to move was to find joy that didn't contain any sadness. So whenever he tried to find joy in something he did, there was always a tinge of sadness in it. He was always able to find some kind of shortcoming or be hard on himself about something. The only way he was able to really uplift himself and find true joy was in the understanding and the celebration that he was created a Jew, because in this he had no control. It was something God did for him. And through this he elevated himself, he lifted himself very high through this joy of being created a Jew. And when it says that when the joy ended, because everything has beginnings and ends, and he came back down to earth, he realized that he hadn't traveled very far. What he thought was traveling so far in his avodas Hashem and his growth maybe was maybe nothing, maybe a hair's breadth of movement. And this showed the tzaddik, and there's a tzaddik in all of us, this showed him that how much movement actually is the movement of a hair's breadth, the slightest effort, the slightest hint of movement in one's life, in one's growth, in one's spiritual work, how precious that is for God, but also how incredibly huge it is. And Rabbi Nachman explains it's because we live in this physical world, in the physical bodies, that it's so very difficult to make movement and to create change. The body itself is the element of earth, and it's heavy, it's really hard to move, and yet every single, the slightest movement creates tremendous change above, and it's incredibly precious. So I invite us to celebrate the little things we do in ourselves, and also especially in our children. If we could start celebrating the tiniest bit of movements, it can really build a person's self of self and a very realistic expectations of self and what it means to be a growing, living person. Wishing you a really good week.